After a long break, Ghostbusters began to be remembered more and more often. Either a remaster of the old game will suddenly come out, or a film about the heroes of the famous four, the sequel of which is promised at the end of the next year. And now there is a new game, Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, from the creators of Friday the 13th game. The team seems to be experienced. It certainly turned out another game under the license, but in reality it's not that simple. In general, it is strange that an asymmetric multiplayer game in this universe is coming out only now. The very idea of Ghostbusters fit almost perfectly into the gameplay of the Force. However, if you're expecting familiar characters like Peter and Ray, you are in the wrong place. The local hunters are created by the players. First you sculpt the hero in the editor and then change his hairstyle and clothes, unlocking more and more options as you level up. At the same time, the plot elements is present in the game, although it does not go beyond the fire station, except the story is limited to in-engine cutscenes. Watch a video, you are told to go hunting, and then the next cutscene is shown. So the mini-plot about Winston the Admiral, in which the ghost moved in, is not very interesting, and even ends before it starts. In multiplayer, Spirit Unleashed work in much the same way as other four VC1. On the one hand, a team of 4 hunters who catch a ghost in one of 5 locations, and the 5th player controls the ghost. He scares people, summons group of minions, speeds muscles, and if coughs reaves up to 3 times per match thanks to artifacts with hiding portals. All hunters are equipped in the same way. The sensors allow them to search for ghosts and portals hidden in figurines, vases and other items. The particle emitter fires a beam that destroys objects and is able to bind the ghost so that it can be dragged to the trap. You must place this trap on the ground and then activate it. Well, proton packs hang on the backs of the hunters, which feed the emitters and give bonuses to the characteristics. The more actively you participate in matches, the more equipment settings appear. The backpack, for example, can replace the generator. This will affect the damage to the portals and the speed of movements. Different antennas in the sensor change the speed of equipment selection, and the consumption of its charge depends on the body of the trap. To prevent the catching of a ghost from being delayed, a limitation was introduced. After activating the trap, you are given a few seconds to catch the enemy, after which the trap will be discharged. You will have to put it back in your backpack to charge it. This is not the only timer in the game. The particle emitter heats up during use, so you need to periodically press the button to cool it down. For some reason it is cooled by the same button that you see to raise your trap from the ground, and in about every match it bothered me. Now, how the tester did not notice that the control should have been slightly changed is not clear. The problem is that the aforementioned modifications do not change the gameplay much. I installed a quantum accelerator on the particle emitter, which improves control over captured ghosts and slows down hitting, but this did not affect what and how I did in the next match at all. You pull out the sensor, look for portals and the ghost itself, report the danger to your own, and then try to catch the ghost. Along the way, you calm people, employees of museums, prisons, and other locations. Otherwise, they will run away in horror, speeding up the process of capturing the build for the ghost. The game gets boring pretty quickly. Yet after the first matches, I was ready to give Spirits Unleashed a positive rating. That over time it became more and more boring to play. The runs are very similar to each other no matter which ghost you are facing. I immediately recalled the recent Evil Dead, the game, where there was more randomness and pumping significantly changed the characters. I spent several weeks there, but here I got the feeling that in no one session I saw everything, and the next day this fear was confirmed. They can't, and the appearance of ghosts is almost not customable, but there are only 5 types of ghosts, and they open as you level up. Each species has several variations that differ is one of the skills. For example, one eyeball covers hunter with slowing down slime, and the other releases a ball of slime and throws it towards opponents. All ghosts have different passive skills. Some shock people nearby, some call for help for the tenacious minions, and some are harder to stun or catch with a beam. The task of the creature is not to get caught by hunter and capture the buildings. This requires capturing objects, status, vases, chairs, and more. Progress in each room is different, and the overall capture level determines how much time the opponents have to grab you. If you get caught once, it doesn't matter. Respawn in one of the portals. True, enemies can destroy portals, but they can be moved and hidden again. Energy is spent on attacking techniques and capturing objects, and you can replenish it by moving into objects. It looks very funny. The developers pay a lot of attention to the animation. Running starfish move their race is a funny way. Drawers open near moving chests of drawers. You always smirk when you see such devilry. And in general, the gameplay for a ghost is more fun than for people. There are enough ways to mock hunters, to break backpacks, and cover people with slime. But the main thing is that the ghost does not depend on anyone. Playing as people in Spears and Leashes bring only pain and suffering. Many aliens do not care about teamwork. Everyone sketches in the corners, does not reassure people, and seems to be busy with their own affairs. This is true for any game of this type, but essentially here. In this regard, playing with real people is not much different from playing with bots, since they don't really want to win either. Thanks to the developers for the opportunity to earn progress in single-player mode, but very often the AI does not seem to understand what needs to be done. When I found the portal and tried to destroy it, my partner ran up after a half of minutes and just looked at him. They catch a ghost softly, sometimes without even setting traps. They rarely search for portals. Spirit Unleashes is great for a group of friends who understand the rule of the game and work together, but it will be difficult to assemble such a team since the game is paid. Randoms are also handy, but they're suspicious that the game will not live long. There's too little depth in it. The tactics are the same. The equipment does not really change, and there are not enough cards. I played almost all the matches with bots because the game could not find people even with cross-play angle. At the same time, it's clear that developers like the Ghostbusters universe and they wanted to make a solid game. The location looks pretty, the ghosts are charming, and the customization options for hunters are endless. And when you return to the fire station, the first thing you see is the famous hunter car and Indeglo in Nostalgia. However, the gameplay novelty falls short of other, more popular representatives of the genre. Ghostbusters Spears Unleashes has soul, but it's not enough to keep the game alive. If the first matches bring pleasure, then over time the gameplay becomes monotonous, and the comrades in arms are more and more annoying. Maybe future updates will change something. Who knows?